Not that you asked, but if you had, I'd have told you that 48 seconds of Disney logos were too freaking many seconds, even back in 1991. Yep, we're sending the special edition of this movie, which leads me to question, what the hell was wrong with the original version that made it not special enough for me as a kid? I feel like my whole youth is in question here.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land.
The once upon a time cliché has been a cliché since the 1400s, which means even Hans f***ing Christian Andersen was probably tired of writing that bullshit in the 19th century. Also narration.
Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was spoiled, selfish, and unkind.
Yeah, but his family motto is literally a Latin maxim that translates to, he conquers who conquers himself, and warns against becoming selfish and unkind. I'm not saying the prince should be perfect, but shouldn't someone be constantly reminding him about that? Also, Latin spoiler.
An old beggar woman came to the castle and offered him a single rose in return for shelter from the bitter cold.
Okay, first of all, why is the prince answering the castle door? I know for a fact he has like 300 servants. Second, it's impressive that there's a stained glass portrait of every scene in this interaction with the old woman. Third, the background looks more like a thunderstorm than a snowstorm, so I'm immediately calling bullshit on the old woman's story, and gotta agree with Prince Teen Wolf on this one.
And as punishment, she transformed him into a hideous beast and placed a powerful spell on the castle and all who lived there.
Damn, we know the prince is an asshole, but after turning away this flower-peddling woman once, she f***ed him up and his entire staff, potentially forever. The real moral of this story is unless you're Joel Kinnaman, do not f*** with an enchantress.
With a magic mirror as his only window to the outside world.
Except for, you know, all the windows.
Was truly an enchanted rose, which would bloom until his 21st year. If he could learn to love another, then the spell would be broken.
He's gotta fall in love by the time he's 21? Jesus, even by fairy tale standards, that's pretty f***ing young. What if he wanted to backpack in Europe for a year, or volunteer with Greenpeace before settling down?
If not, he would be doomed to remain a beast for all time.
But it also sounds like the enchantress made the prince immortal, so it's not that bad of a deal. With the way this chick goes around arbitrarily handing out punishments, it's pretty likely she also did this to a princess. So at some point they would probably end up finding each other and living together forever as two pretty compatible immortal beasts, especially after Tinder is invented. I know Belle's dad is a crackpot inventor, but those gears should not be turning the way they're turning. Even Disney animation should abide by some sort of practical physics. Also, if the wind is blowing hard enough for this windmill to be turning constantly, Belle's hair should be moving too.
Bonjour! Bonjour!
These French townspeople speak mostly English to each other, except for the French words that are almost universally understood by Americans. Does the town even know they have a bookseller? It's the only sign in English.
I'll borrow this one.
Yeah, but this is a bookseller, Belle, not a goddamn library.
Wow, you didn't miss a shot, Gaston!
Gaston's a great shot, but he's hunting right in the middle of the fucking town. Aren't you supposed to do that in the woods? L'argent is French for money, but this shop seems to specialize in cookware, so it must be one of those punny shops. That means our cookware is so money and we don't even know it. Geez, I don't know what Belle's complaining so much about. This town has a farmer's market that would make a hipster cream in his pants. Sure, most of them are busy singing, but someone should really tell Belle she's about to walk out of the movie into a Monet painting.
How can you read this? There's no pictures.
Actually, there's at least one picture of the time where the hero meets Prince Charming. Anachro underwear. Disney continues its tradition of mostly sentient but still not quite talking horses. How far out does the enchantress's curse go from the castle? Is this also cursed land? And did she consult the town records to make sure she stayed within the property lines? Maurice didn't notice this enormous gate and the enormous castle behind the gate until just now. The beast has been secretly beasting for 10 years, but Maurice is somehow unaware of this very nearby castle. Also, it's super weird that the villagers wouldn't be at all disturbed that the prince of the very nearby castle hasn't been seen or heard from in years. And even if this prince is habitually reclusive, you'd think that someone would know one of the 300 live-in servants and wonder where they are, right? Right?
Oh, no, not the master's chair.
At this point, Lumiere is just being a world-class troll. Even if Beast were fine with taking this dude in for the night, why would you let him sit in his favorite chair?
His mustache tickles, Mama.
I'll just send this for something we shouldn't be hearing from a childlike character and quietly move on. Also, where the hell did Chip come from? If they've all been enchanted for 10 years, we have two options. One, Mrs. Potts, as a teapot, gave birth to a cup. Or two, the Beast is the only person in the castle allowed to age. Either way, a strange man is drinking from a child's head. What the f*** did these assholes think would happen? Has there ever been a time when the Beast pleasantly welcomed a guest?
I'll give you a place to stay.
The erstwhile prince didn't even let the enchantress through the door, but rather than kicking Maurice's ass out, he imprisons him up in the tower. I guess in case Maurice is a fairy tale botanist? Belle's father was wacky and brilliant enough to invent this contraption instead of a normal people, even though it functions exactly like a normal people.
This is the day your dreams come true.
What do you know about my dreams, Gaston?
I would send this cartoonish, blatant stalking behavior, but I'm more concerned about that giant f***ing pot in the fireplace. Holy how do they even clean that thing?
I want adventure in the great white somewhere.
This is clearly what Belle wants, but is later happy to be sequestered in a palace with the prince.
Where's Papa? Where is he, Philippe? You have to take me to him.
Philippe hasn't actually been to the castle, since he freaked out at the cliff and Maurice had to go the rest of the way on foot. But he brings Belle right to the gates on this go-round. Also, Philippe would have no idea Maurice went into the castle. He could be hiding in the leaves or the mud, Peta style, anywhere in the woods. Also, good thing the wolves decided to stop wolfing while Belle was looking for her pops. If it's this goddamn easy to open this gate, why are these grounds not covered in wolves? Lumiere leads Belle to her father, instead of maybe introducing her to the beast. I mean, it eventually works out that she trades herself for him, but was Lumiere counting on that? And if so, that's a diabolical f***ing candlestick right there.
I want you to leave this place.
Who's done this to you?
No time to explain.
Actually, there's just enough time to say a big enchanted beast man did this to me, and that's why you need to leave.
Take him to the village.
Since we later see Chip tag along with Belle back to the village, we know the objects are free to go wherever they want while in magical form. So why haven't they been searching for some help in breaking the curse for the last 10 years? This is something movie could have found time to tell us about instead of showing Lumiere try to seduce a feather duster.
I'm especially good at expectorating.
Gaston may not be able to read, but he knows the word expectorating.
I use antlers in all of my decorating.
Gaston's got an impressive array of heads of wild boars, elk, and a f***ing bear. So why did he go to the trouble of mounting a f***ing rabbit and an owl?
We'll help you out.
Will no one help me?
Maurice tries exactly one place to find help for Belle, then immediately gives up.
I thought you might like a spot of tea.
Angela Lansbury isn't solving crimes in Cabot Cove in this scene.
Careful.
The sentient wardrobe has been in the room the entire time, watching Belle cry, but cheerfully announces herself here. Isn't that creepier than, like, just clearing your throat while she's bawling her eyes out? The sugar bowl and creamer don't have faces. Were they inanimate objects that were enchanted to life? Or maybe humans that died while they were objects and are now stuck in a hellish purgatory of porcelain servitude?
That was a very brave thing you did, my dear.
We all think so.
I can buy that Mrs. Potts has heard the gossip about Belle's bargain for her dad, but how the hell did the wardrobe find out about it, since she's been stuck in the bedroom this whole time?
We'll be human again by midnight.
Oh, it's not that easy, Lumiere. These things take time.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 days at most.
If she doesn't eat with me, then she doesn't eat at all.
After being spurned at the dinner table, Beast decides to give Belle a good old-fashioned code red.
Show me the girl.
On-demand magical voyeurism.
She'll never see me as anything but a monster.
Dramatic flower wilting is dramatically wilty.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Attempted forcible candlesticking. Lumiere cordially gives Belle a third-degree burn.
She's not a prisoner. She's our guest.
She's literally a prisoner. By all means, feed her well, but she's a f***ing prisoner. Okay, the curse of the enchantress turned all the staff into furniture and utensils, but there are a lot of individual plates and teacups and such. Does that mean that all of them were previously human? If so, that's an enormous staff, even for a large castle. And if not, what happens to the animate dinnerware when the curse is lifted? Is this table a human? I have so many questions. Based on the clothing, firearms, and steam engine technology, this movie takes place sometime in mid to late 18th century, but the Eiffel Tower wasn't constructed until about 100 years later in 1887.
Beef ragout, cheese souffle, pie and pudding on flambe.
If they have this amount of fresh food, it means that either one of the magical creatures regularly goes to the village market, or there's a poor bastard delivery man who's seen some weird shit at this castle.
10 years we've been rusting.
Hang on, 10 years? And the prince had until his 21st birthday to find love? So he has to still be 20. This means the enchantress cursed a fucking 10-year-old for being mean to her. Also, I'm not saying that excuses him for being a kidnapping temper case, but he clearly had few positive role models in his life. Just a horny candle, a Glock who won't disagree with him, and a teapot who ignores 19 of her 20 children. We interrupt this fantastic musical number to briefly bring you a screensaver from Windows 3.0. This song is just one of the greatest Disney musical numbers of all time. I'm smiling so widely I must remove 3 sins. Although, this song is responsible for Disney World's annoying ad campaign that's constantly run over the following several decades, so I'll add one back. Hey, Sinner's got a sin, yo.
Oh, I couldn't possibly go to bed now.
Especially considering she's had, like, 3 bites from that entire f***ing meal.
What's up there?
Where? There? Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing of interest at all in the West Wing.
Can't Cogsworth and Lumiere just say, hey, Beastie's up there, and you probably don't want to disturb him? Damn, the Beast Charles Foster caned the f*** out of this room.
Promise or no promise, I can't stay here another minute.
Well, couldn't she have done this from the get-go? If she doesn't give a shit about the promise and it's easy to just walk the hell out the front door, what took her so long? Wait, Philippe the horse has been patiently waiting outside the castle this whole time, in a blizzard. I don't care how fantastically animated your fantastically animated movie is, Disney. There is no way Belle's able to get Beast up on that horse by herself.
Well, you shouldn't have been in the West Wing.
Well, you should learn to control your temper.
Oh look, they're angrily shouting. That must mean they're falling in love.
I've never felt this way about anyone.
Okay, Belle got to the castle yesterday to rescue Maurice, had dinner, attempted escape, got rescued, and bandaged old Beastie last night. So Beast has literally fallen in love in less than 24 hours. Sounds more like lust or infatuation to me. And the Rose should disallow this bullshit. Also, since Beast hit puberty, the only females he's been around are a teapot, a feather duster, and a wardrobe. I'm glad he never felt this way before. Also, I guess it's helpful that the first female to show up at his cursed castle in 10 years is the hottest girl in the village, am I right?
I can't believe it. I've never seen so many books in all my life.
Yeah, but I hope you're not interested in anything on the top few rows, since those are f***ing impossible to reach. Beast goes from filthy to fresh, then back to filthy in less than 10 seconds flat.
And now he's dear and so unsure. I wonder why I didn't see it there before.
I'm gonna go with probably because he imprisoned my father, then traded my father's life for mine, then was consistently emotionally abusive to me during the first day I knew it.
There may be something there that wasn't there before.
What's there, Mama?
I'll tell you when you're older.
But couldn't Mrs. Potts just tell Chip they may be falling in love? I don't think you have to be of a certain age to be able to handle that information, unless she's insinuating that they might bone later tonight, which I guess is an alarming possibility.
When I'm human again, only human again.
The special edition of movie includes a song that's a little more human league than they may have intended. I know they're psyched about the possible love connection, but making a big deal about how the bed looks is a little presumptuous, eh? Unnecessary musical number is secretly just an excuse to do a Fantasia callback, but didn't remind viewers to go ahead and drug up before watching this movie.
Tale as old as time.
Damn, Angela Lansbury does a terrible Celine Dion impression. Also, what about this story is as old as time? Imprisoning your potential mate, repeatedly threatening her, and cutting her off from her family? If that's the case, I'm gonna have to rethink my wedding vows. Jesus, this shot is amazing. It's like a great camera technique from an actual movie. And this shit's animated, and it's from 1991. 3 more sins off before I get too excited.
He's finally learned to love.
That's it then. That should break the spell.
But it's not enough. She has to love him in return.
How the hell does Lumiere not know this by now? Wasn't he listening to the narration at the beginning of the movie?
It's all right, Papa. I'm home.
Can we talk about what a f*** up Maurice is in this movie? First, he blows the house up in preparation for the fair, then gets lost on the way to it. Then he's responsible for the eventual imprisonment of Belle. During the moment Belle could find true happiness with Beast, she witnesses his epic fail at trying to get back to the castle, and his erratic behavior is the catalyst to Gaston's plan to marry Belle. Why do we like this character again? Is it because of the mustache? It is an adorable mustache.
I've come to collect your father.
My father?
Don't worry, mademoiselle.
Did Gaston pay off the whole town, or were they just super eager to form a mob and chuck Maurice into the loony bin?
I say we kill the beast!
These villagers were literally just mocking the idea that Beast existed, but are now all jazzed up to go kill him. I guess they already had the torches and the pitchforks, so might as well add a murder into the schedule.
The beast will make off with your children!
Why the hell did the villagers bring their kids to come see Maurice committed? Wait, it took Maurice almost the whole day to get to the Enchanted Woods, and that was on horseback. But this village horde can make it up there within minutes, before their torches go out.
What shall we do, Master?
It doesn't matter now.
Pessimistic beasts and where to find them. Chip, a teacup that has the brain of a child and no appendages whatsoever, is able to get this contraption working.
Up here, you scurry scum! Now!
Thankfully, the horrific mutilation of this man's face occurs off-screen. What kind of pervy motherfucker gets off on plucking an anthropomorphized feather duster? Disney used to have some sick bastards working for them, and I don't just mean Michael Eisner.
No! Gaston, don't!
Gaston just happened to satisfy his killing boner within full view of Belle. Can we just pick a fucking size for Beast? He looked almost human size when he was dancing with Belle, but here he's got enormous neck and back muscles that would make Bane jealous.
You came back.
Yeah, but only to warn you about the unhinged mob about to attack the castle. I'm pretty sure unless you somehow turn into a prince or something, she's probably gonna head back to the village now. No one lies like Gaston, no one dies like Gaston, can exemplify boneheaded dicks like Gaston. Spirit fingers. The Disneyized reverse transformation is basically a diet American werewolf in London. Sure, he looks better than he did as the Beast, but that's the prince? I mean, I know he's rich and she loves him and everything, but I think the animators blew their beauty budget on Belle.
Belle, it's me.
Belle seems like she doesn't believe this dude is the Beast, even though he transformed right before her very eyes. Why the hell did the rest of the curse take so long to reverse? The prince was transformed for over a minute before the magic fireworks went off. Did it have to wait until they kissed to make sure it was true love? And if so, what would have happened if they just held hands instead? The same outfit fits the prince, even though he's prince-sized now and not beast-sized. This movie f***s with perspective so much that this could all be playing out in a miniature dollhouse and I wouldn't be surprised.
L'amour.
Man, you do not want to be on the receiving end of a Lumiere climax after he's been pent up for 10 years. The animators got through that last joke about Chip sleeping in the cupboard and must have left the rest of the work to a drunken third grader.
Tale as old as time.
In case you missed literally the last refrain in the movie 5 seconds ago, here's the f***ing pop version of that shit.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Little town full of little people.
Thank God we live in the quiet little redneck podunk white trash. U.S.A.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Get off my lawn.
Oh boy, Belle's gonna get the surprise of her life, huh, Gaston?
Tommy, how's the peeping? Tommy, how's the peeping?
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
Papa? Papa?
Papa, can you hear me? We've got a lot to do. Is it one lump or two?
We have exquisite tapestries dating all the way back.
This is a castle, isn't it? There are tapestries.
This is a castle, and we have many tapestries.